Pastor Kay Queen here with the Speed of Life Youth Ministries. We're going to be doing a series of videos on the book, The Purpose-Driven Life. If you don't have the book, I recommend highly going out and getting it. You can find it at half-price books, pretty cheap for $3, $4, $5. But you definitely need the book to kind of follow along, because I will not be reading from the book. I'm just going to talk about some highlights in the book and give you some things to ponder and questions to answer at the end of the video. In the book, this would be considered day 1, but we're going to do it by weeks. So this is actually week 1. The title of day 1/week 1 is It All Starts with God. In Colossians 1:16 it says, "For in Him were created all things in heaven and earth, the visible and invisible. All things were created through Him and for Him." Be sure and go back and read Colossians 1:16, because that's paraphrased. It's not about us. The purpose of our life is far more greater than what we can imagine. We think it's for our own personal gain, for our own personal happiness, but not true. We were born for God's purpose. God has a reason for us being here on this earth. We're not here by accident. We're here for a reason and a purpose, and only God knows that reason and purpose. However, when we start asking, why am I here? What do I do with my life? We've actually started in the wrong place. We've actually started being self-centered instead of being God-centered. We need to be God-centered. But just to give you an idea, some of the questions that we ask ourselves that are self-centered is we ask ourselves, what do I want to be when I grow up? Or who do I want to be? What are my goals and my dreams, and what do I want for my future? Who do I want to marry? And what do I want to do with my life? Where do I want to live? Well, honestly, all those things are actually up to God. But you notice all the questions started with I. I want, I want, I want. No, it's supposed to be what God wants. And that's what we're going to learn in this lesson, what God wants. And basically, we have to ask Him and find out what it is He wants for our lives. What is our purpose for Him putting us here on this earth? Because there is a purpose. And He has a calling on each of our lives. And He has things that He expects each of us to accomplish. And we can't do that without His help. And we can't do that without knowing what He wants for us. Let's see. You want to discover your life's meaning by looking inside yourself and asking your self-centered questions. We were made by God for God. Life is about God using us for His purpose, not us using God for our purpose. Don't look to the self-help books for your purpose, because they're no help at all. Sure, they may help you become a huge success, and you can become a huge success and still miss God and the calling that God has on your life. So you want to be real careful with the self-help books and searching what it is that God has for you. If you really want to know how to find out what your purpose is, what your mission is, why you're here, what God has in store for you, go to the Bible. That's our owner's manual. It clearly states the 5 purposes of our lives, why we're here, why God put us here. But you have to search for it. It's not going to be just jump out and bite you like a snake whenever you open the book, when you open the Bible. You have to look for it, and you have to be diligent in searching, and you have to ask God to show you. If you don't ask, He's not going to help you. There's 3 things we need to know when discovering our purpose. Number 1, we need to have a very intimate relationship with Jesus Christ. We have to know Him on a very personal level. Number 2, you got to tell yourself every day and remember this, that God knows His purpose for you, and He knew it long before He ever created you in your mother's womb. And then 3rd, our purpose goes way beyond the here and now. Without God, life makes no sense. So tell yourself every day, it's not about me, it's about God. I want you to memorize Colossians 1:16 for the next week. Memorize that one. And I want you to tell yourself every day, if you have to write it on a big piece of paper and stick it on every mirror in the house and in your car, tell yourself every day and remind yourself, it's not about me. Okay? Then I want you to write this question down, and then I want you to write out your answer. Keep it in a journal, because I'm sure later on there'll be more questions to answer, but this is just one for this week. Think about it and write your answer. How can I remind myself today that life is about living for God, not myself? I'll repeat the question. How can I remind myself today that life is about living for God and not myself? There's some other verses I want you to read this week. Proverbs 11:28, Jeremiah 17, verses 7 through 8, Job 12, verse 10, Romans 8, verse 6, Matthew 16:25, 1 Corinthians 2:7, and Ephesians 1:11. I know this is kind of short, but the first chapter, first day, is really the short one, because you have to tell yourself it's not about you, it's about God. And you're the reason you're here is because God has a reason for you to be here. He has a purpose for you and your life, and you need to seek Him daily and ask Him what that purpose is, and to guide you in your steps, and to guide you in the way He wants you to go. And also pray for a layer of protection around you every day, because as you go, the road will get tougher and tougher and tougher. But as long as you have God on your side and that layer of protection around you, wall of protection, you will do just fine. Go out and get the book, The Purpose Driven Life. Read day 1, do the question, and then I will see you next week. Thanks. Have a great week.